Are we as podcasters wasting our time by using social media? Hey, my name is Alex Sanfilippo, and this is a bit of a challenging video that I'm going to share here today. I was recently talking to a podcaster, and I was just asking, hey, what's the most time-consuming part of podcasting? Or better yet, what do you love the least? And they didn't even hesitate. They said social media. I don't like creating graphics. I don't like creating videos. I don't like making my written posts. I don't like having assets for my guest. I don't like any part of the process, right? Much less sharing it, of course. And that's because that's not what we ultimately signed up for when we became a podcaster, right? We wanted to create audio and video content that really serves people, not go through and repurpose the mess out of it, right? So it made sense that I heard this, and I just asked the question, well, then why do you do it? And there was no real answer to this. It was sort of just ended with well, it's what you have to do to grow your listenership. And I kind of left that conversation thinking to myself, like, is that true? Like, is that actually the case? Is there data to prove that? And so I decided to go look at the data. Does our efforts on social media actually yield results when it comes to growing a podcast? And the answer is actually no. It can, don't get me wrong. There is a way that it can help, but probably not as effective as you think. The number one way that people discover podcast is through the actual player apps. It's through doing search, whether it be on AI or search engines. It's actually looking for what they're looking for, believe it or not, right? The number two way is suggestions from friends, family, and your network. And then move down the line in social media, organic social media discoverability is on the list, but really low. And so for me, I was like, wow, man, that's kind of wild. Like we spend so much time doing all these things for social media as independent podcasters, and most of us totally solo, doing it completely by ourselves, right? We're building everything for us, for our guests, and making sure we're repurposing it on an ongoing basis. Does it actually work though? And I came down to this question, and I want you to answer this question truthfully yourself. I'm going to ask this question. It's really important. I had to answer it truthfully for myself as well. How often do you discover a new podcast that you actually listen to through a post on social media? Think about that. How many times have you discovered a new podcast that you started listening to through a post on social media? I'm willing to bet never. That's the answer for me. I'm not looking for podcasts on social media. Most people aren't. They're standing in line, trying not to look awkward and be alone, right? They're sitting in traffic, which is a bad place for this, right? They're in bed trying to fall asleep. They're trying to unwind at the end of the day. They're not saying, ooh, a new podcast to listen to. That sounds good. They're like, no, show me another dancing cat, right? Like that's where people's minds are. I'm not saying social media is not powerful, but it's not the same thing as opening a podcasting app saying, I want to show about this. You know what? I need some good comedy in my life right now. You know what? I want a true crime podcast. I want to like get my brain really moving, right? That's a different frame of mind. And because of that, I go back to this question, how often are people actually discovering a new podcast to listen to through social media? I think the answer is almost 100% of the time, never. It's not why we're there. Here's what actually grows a podcast. This is the secret. And then I'm going to get into something that I think will be really helpful for everybody. But the secret is this: creating content so good that people who hear it feel compelled to share it. Content so good that people feel compelled to share it. What that means is your episodes, you put so much effort and so much time into them that someone hears it and they're like, oh my goodness, who do I know? Like someone has to hear this. I can't be left alone hearing this. It's so good, right? That's what you're looking for. It's not more posts on social media. They're going to get shared around and talked about, right? No, it's the actual content itself, getting introduced to a friend, someone posting about it themselves, right? Because they liked it so much. Like that's what starts building momentum for an actual podcast, is not us, the host, going out and doing the dirty work on social media. Now, I want to give everyone a challenge here. This is a hard message. It is totally counterculture. It's challenging the status quo of what we believe. But if you're like most podcasters I've talked to since having that initial conversation, you don't like social media. You feel burnout. You feel like it's the biggest time waste that you have in your podcasting efforts. So here's what I want you to do. Take this 90-day challenge, and here are the steps that I want you to do with this. Number one, calculate how much time you're spending working on social media for your podcast. Means making clips, making graphics, writing content, actually posting it, going back and giving assets to your guest, all that. How much time are you spending doing that per episode? Add it all up, right? And then once you go to social media and do a final post for a little bit. That's right, I'm gonna ask you to get off social media in a second here. That's coming up. But first, I want you to do one more post. And what I want you to say is, hey, I'm gonna focus on making my podcast better for listeners. If you wanna listen, here's where you can listen. If you got any feedback, let me know. Here's my email address, or here's how you can contact me. I'm not going to be checking social media for 90 days so I can make sure my podcast is the best it can possibly be for my listeners. Anywhere that you have a profile, do that final post. And then what I want you to do is remove social media from your content strategy. So basically, like your production checklist. So when you're going through all the things you do for your podcast, remove anything that's social media related. You're not doing it anymore. But I don't want you just to say, okay, I got all this extra time. No, for this sprint of 90 days, let's say it was 2 hours per episode, you're doing social media stuff. I now want you to work on your podcast with that 2 hours. It's like, well, what else am I going to do on my podcast? You're going to do some way deeper research. You're going to find out how long people listen to an episode before they cut off, right? So let's just imagine you have all this access on your dashboards and stuff like that. But let's just say people make it halfway through and they cut off. What happened in the middle of the episode that made them cut off? Oh, are they all 50%? That means they're 50% too long. Oh, everyone leaves when I do this segment. Oh, everyone stays when I do that one. You're going to start informing the way that you actually produce your show. The idea here is to make a better structured podcast episode so that listeners stay along through the end, right? So you want to make sure that it's really, really good for them. Also, again, going back to the SEO side of things, you want to make sure your title descriptions are really good. So your titles, descriptions, formatted correctly, really good. Get your transcripts done. Go all out on everything that is related to the actual podcast itself to position it for organic discoverability. Listen, I have a friend that I challenged to do this. I told her, I'm like, hey, let's do this for 90 days because I was coaching her on the podcasting side of things. I'm like, let's try this and see if it works. And she's like, Alex, I hate social media. It's why I want to quit my podcast. And so I was like, cool, let's do this for 90 days. She goes, I'm going to do it for a year. She didn't even do that post idea. She just deleted all of her social media, like straight up deleted all of it. And she had good followings too. But she's like, no, I hate it all. I'm getting rid of it. But she did take the time and reinvested it back into her podcast, the other sides of it. Get this. When she started this challenge, she had 10,000 people listening to her podcast in a year. A year later, when we reconvened about it, she bumped up to 60,000 people listening per year. Y'all, that is a 500% increase. And she got rid of something she hated. I asked her, she's like, podcasting is more fulfilling than it's ever been. It's going better than it ever has. I'm seeing great traction and I love it. She got rid of the thing that all of us think we have to do that none of us really enjoy. And it turns out it yielded a 500% return on investment. You're hearing this and you might be like, man, I don't know if it'll be the case for me. And you have all these ideas as to why it won't, because we've all been preached at that you have to use social media if you want to grow your podcast. But the reality is, I don't believe that anymore. Try it for 90 days. I urge you to try this for 90 days and let's see what happens. Make your content so good that people feel compelled to share it. I really want to hear how this goes for you. So if you decide to try this, please reach out to me. My name's Alex Sanfilippo. team@podmatch.com is my email address, or you can just comment below this video. I want to know. I want to hear if this is yielding results for you, because I believe it's going to make podcasting more enjoyable for you, and your listeners are going to really love it even more because your content is getting so much better. Again, I thank you for spending this time with me, and I hope this is super helpful for you, and I hope to not see you on social media, but I look forward to hearing your podcast.